Morning. It's Wednesday, September 9th, and we're getting close to Election Day. Even though it's less than 2 months away, it's still getting close, and there's a lot going on, and we have a bunch of instructions that were just issued from the CDC about what to do if you physically vote. Now, after I cover a couple of these instructions, you will see how incredibly crazy this world has turned. These instructions are very comprehensive. They cover everything that you should do at the polling place. And it's all the physical things that you must watch out for. And it's all because of COVID-19. This is not instructions on how to vote. These are instructions on how to avoid coming down with COVID-19. And based upon this, their recommendation is that we really should vote by mail. But of course, that will cause all kinds of angst when we're waiting for the results after Election Day. And I'll tell you something, I'm very uncomfortable with all the mail-in voting because when we talk about fraud, and I don't believe that there's going to be any fraud, but there are crazies out there, and you do not know what's liable to pop into their mind if they want to disrupt the voting process. But let me get back to the CDC, and I'll go through a few. I'm going to go through the instructions that they have issued, and there are many different areas that you'll have to watch out for, depending upon how you vote. So the first section in their instruction set is, and they're not even calling it instructions, they're calling it recommendations. They want you to practice healthy behavior. Wash your hands before entering and after leaving the polling places. When you are in the polling place, use alcohol-based hand sanitizer containing less than 60% alcohol frequently, especially when touching surfaces frequently touched by multiple people, such as door handles and voting machines. Now, I would recommend wearing latex gloves if it's going to be that hard to, keep washing in your hands and everything. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue or the inside of your elbow. Throw the tissues into lined trash cans. Now, I'm wondering whether all of the voting places are going to be equipped like this. Wash your hands and use alcohol-based hand sanitizers containing at least 60% of alcohol if you sneeze or something. Wear a mask. Children under 2 and anyone who has trouble breathing or is incapacitated or otherwise unable to remove the mask without assistance should not wear a mask. And of course, maintain social distancing. 6 feet, about 2 arms lengths from people. Like we haven't learned what 6 feet is at this point in time. Number 2, consider voting alternatives available in your jurisdiction that minimize contact with others. Now you should check your election office and see if you can get that information. Number 3, do not disinfect or wipe down the voting equipment yourself. This is electronic voting equipment that can be damaged by cleaners and disinfectants. If you use a hand sanitizer before touching the voting equipment, ensure that your hands are completely dry to avoid damaging the equipment. Wash your hands or use alcohol-based hand sanitizers after using the voting equipment. Now, that's a lot to remember. So I am telling you that latex gloves are really the way to go. They can't expect people to do this. It's nice that they issued these instructions, but they can't enforce this in any way, shape, or form. And are they going to have the people who are in the polling places watching what people are doing when they're in there trying to vote? I suspect, though, that voting places might be partially empty, so maybe they could do a lot of this stuff. Instruction number 4, avoid crowds. Use early voting if available in your jurisdiction. Vote at off-peak times, such as the mid-morning. I don't know if there are any more off-peak times. Everybody's in quarantine. Everybody's home. Is there really an off-peak time anymore? If you drive to the polling place, watch the lines, and as soon as they get short, you should go in and use them then. Now, I don't know. I really don't know if that will work. I mean, most people, if they're going to vote, they want to vote. They're not going to sit in their car outside waiting for the line to get short. And people are marching in. The line's never going to get shorter. Instruction number 5, be prepared. Check your voting location and the requirements in advance because they may have changed due to the virus. Verify your voter registration information is correct in advance before reporting to the polling place. Contact your local and state election office for additional information for voters with disabilities. Make sure you have all the necessary documents so that you don't have to be delayed at the polling place. If possible, complete any registration forms prior to arriving at the polling place. Where possible, review or complete a sample ballot at home to speed the process of casting your ballot at the polling location. Bring your own black ink pen. Bring a stylus or similar object for use when touching the voting screen. That's the touchscreen voting machines. Check with the poll workers to make sure whatever you're going to use on the screen is going to work. And that's pretty much the whole list. So I hope this helps, and I hope you all vote, and vote safely. I myself have sent away for the absentee ballots. I recommend you do the same. In any event, whichever way you try to do this thing, it's very important that you vote. It's very important that you stay safe. And it's very important that you don't worry too much. And I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.